Buckle up, buckaroos, as this is gonna be a long one. Grab a drink and a snack, sit comfortably, kick back and relax. But not before considering leaving us up, every little bit helps. Lately we could have observed an influx of games with a tag boomer shooter slapped onto them. The term has been coined to describe first-person shooters that focused more on mindless trigger-happy action rather than realism. Although some may find it a tad offensive, the boomer addition is more of an endearing ingredient that calls back to simpler times of gaming. Why is this subgenre getting so popular that even Valve has decided to add a boomer shooter tag to their Steam store? Well, I could speculate all I want, but I decided to delve a bit deeper into this topic and provide you with multiple points of view instead of only my own. To have an even wider view, I have decided to play some of the recent titles: Warhammer 40k Boltgun, Cultic, Project Warlock and Mullet Mad Jack. Most of the listed titles have a demo available for your convenience on their Steam product pages, which I will link in the description of this video. Before we dive into some gameplay and my observations, I would like us to take a moment and think about the popularity those games are being gifted with. On Steam forums we can read that this genre is popular only because the other options are hero shooters and battle royales. This is of course easily dismissible, as the gaming landscape is far wider than those mentioned, but there is some truth to that statement. The market has indeed been oversaturated with titles that are uninspired copies of each other. We can also read that those games call to nostalgia within us. We as players try to capture the same feeling that we have had when we were younger. That may be true to some extent, and I think it's not a reach if I said that this argument can be connected to the previous one. Experiencing past feelings in conjunction with overall exhaustion of the gaming community with uninspired titles may push some of us to try simpler, more fun titles. Then, there's one comment that encapsulates what I had in mind. I just want a game with a very clear beginning, middle and end, with zero additions, zero DLC, zero MTX, etc. Is that hard to ask? Apparently it is. But what exactly is a boomer shooter? Seems like the term is a substitute for the once really popular term Doom clone. Although the description of a boomer shooter may still not be precisely specified, most of the games bearing this tag have somewhat pixelated retro look, more often than not rocking sprites instead of 3D models, which in my humble opinion add to the charm. Those games emphasize gameplay over realism or deep storyline, which by no means is a disadvantage. I would even say that it's quite the opposite. Rich gameplay which lets you have mindless fun running around and basically deleting your enemies make up for the lack of mind-boggling history. Moreover, the simplicity of art style that the devs are going for, thanks to being simpler, lets them focus on polishing the game mechanics in a game loop. Thus, you can safely assume that most of those games are limitless fun. Also, most of the games can be bought for the fraction of the price the publishers want you to pay for AAA titles. PC Gamer said that 2023 was another great year for boomer shooters. While big titles like Redfall or Destiny flopped hard, small indie shooters like Hrot or Boltgun have had relatively big success. Do keep in mind that those games are still a niche in the gaming landscape, yet they do their best to make a dent in the market occupied by big fishes, who do not really care about customer satisfaction. But small indie games aside, the best and biggest examples of excellent boomer shooters of recent years are both Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. Both of those titles have garnered a massive audience and introduced part of it to the genre as a whole. And now for more organoleptic evidence, as I want to dive headfirst into the genre and see why is it becoming so popular. First game that I have booted up was Warhammer 40k Boltgun, and I have a very particular reason for this. I have been an avid fan of the 40k universe for a long time, and let's be honest, you could count good 40k games on fingers of one hand. Thankfully, I can with full responsibility say that Boltgun is an amazing game. Of course, someone coming from the tabletop Warhammer won't find anything really mechanically appealing in this game, but if you're hungry for a good game that is somewhat lore accurate and you also love classic shooters, you will definitely find something for yourself. The lore accuracy aside, the game is just immensely fun to play. Fast-paced combat, visceral kills, booming weapons impact, those are only few words I can use to describe this game. Now the Mechanicus buff just boosts the strength of the boulder. That's cool. That's cool, that's cool. Not gonna lie. Additional fun servers are multiple enemies ranging from Chaos Cultists through Chaos Space Marines to Demons of Nurgle and Zinj. On top of that, tougher enemies have toughness rank, and your weapons have strength rank, just like models from the tabletop. To be perfectly honest, the game just lets you live out your power fantasy as an ultramarine. Every step you take you can hear the ground shake underneath your armored feet. Every Boltgun cartridge expelled from your barrel wreaks havoc in front of you, but your gun is only an extension of yourself, as you are a hulking 450 kg beast, and you are a weapon yourself. You can charge headfirst into lesser enemies, pulverizing them into a happy bloody pulp. Can you tell how much I love this game already? And I haven't played through the whole title yet. But surely I will pick it up again in my spare time. Tell me in the comment section below if you would like me to make videos on all of those games. The next one is Cultic, one that I have heard before thanks to YouTubers like Civi and G-Man Leaves, who covered the game. Admittedly, I have only played a free demo, which is available on the store page, but I really liked it. Cultic reminds me not only about old school FPS games, but also about the glory days of Half-Life 1 mods, because it has so much atmosphere in it. Even in the demo, there were times when I got genuinely scared. Eh? Yo, chill. Ouch! That was interesting. The graphics may not be for everyone, as it is a mix of voxel-based models, 2D sprites of enemies and some really beautiful particle effects. Admittedly, the movement is more clunky than in Boltgun, but still serviceable. Despite enemies being 2D sprites, the gore and jibbing of their models is pretty satisfying and additionally granting you bullet time after killing cultists with headshots. One thing that I didn't really like was music, that was not really fitting certain situations. During combat I would like to hear some hyping tunes instead of elevator music. Despite the soundstage being on a weaker side, the demo was not enough for me, and I will certainly buy a full game and try it out later on. Project Warlock 1. What a discovery it was for me, let me tell ya. Amazing gunplay with intense weapon feedback sprinkled with magic on top. Interesting approach to dismemberment with bigger enemies as they become more and more deteriorated after taking damage. The game is an interesting mixture of boomer shooter, RPG and dungeon crawler. Although I did not like the control scheme, you can easily change it to your liking. One of my longtime viewers and good colleague was so nice to gift me both Project Warlock 1 and 2 on Steam, so I will definitely be coming back to play through the whole game. The demo, like every other, is linked down in the description box. But to be completely honest, the first part is less than $2, so if you're looking for a dungeon crawler shooter, you should just buy it and dive into the very interesting world of Project Warlock. Mullet Mad Jack. Well, I have very little notes taken on that game because I was so invested into the demo. The game is sensory overload, but in a good way. When you first boot up the game, you are greeted with a beautiful 90s stylized anime cutscene doing a quick lore dump on you. But after that, oh lord, you'll be, what the fuck is going on my screen right now? I literally don't know what the fuck is going on. This stage will last around 10 minutes before you start to feel the flow of the game, and Mullet Mad Jack just becomes speedrunning aim trainer with lots of essence in it. Just as Project Warlock was an interesting take on a dungeon crawler mixed with boomer shooter, Mad Jack is an incredibly interesting and fun take on roguelike and boomer shooter. Every time you finish a level, you are dealt 3 cards which enhance your gameplay either by giving you a new gun or some kind of special ability. But the game would be too easy and boring if there wasn't any other condition. So the devs introduced a timer, which has in-lore explanation, which, when it reaches 0, will instantly kill you. To prolong the timer, you just have to kill your foes. This simple yet so engaging gameplay loop made me consider buying this game and playing it through. This title has so much content apart from the standard gameplay too. There is a speedrun mode, and there are plenty of difficulty modes that change the different settings. To be completely frank with you guys, $16 for this game on Steam is such a steal that I can't recommend it enough to buy it. Before we conclude the previous paragraph, if you would like me to do separate videos on those games, please let me know in the comment section below. So, to sum it up, are the boomer shooters popular? Not really. If you'd look up SteamDB charts on the games I have talked about, their peaks are sub 1000 in most of the cases. But on the other hand, the variety of games with boomer shooter tag on Steam popping up one after another is insane, and most of those productions are really good quality products. Are we entering a new era of indie dev standing in opposition to big publishing companies? Well, that is not for me to decide. But from the data available, it might be a beginning of something new, something fresh that the new games lack. Just as I mentioned in my previous video, devs and publishers lost their cojones and are afraid to innovate in exchange for picking safe options that will most likely let them make some money. Today, after playing plenty of these classical shooters, I have been struck how those small indie companies, despite being thrown under the boomer shooter genre, can still find new ways of entertaining their player base. The relatively small concurrent player peaks are plain criminal in my opinion, and more people should try out something new instead of boring old formulas served to us year after year. As always, it has been a pleasure to create content for you guys. If you liked the video, consider leaving a sub and a thumbs up or down, as it helps me immensely. Additionally, I will drop my Discord server link in the description below. See you in the next one!